proudly sponsored by Menards. Whether you're tuning in to AM 1450, 97.3 FM, or 97.7 FM, Menards is here to support great local content. And Menards is your one-stop shop for all things home improvement. Don't go anywhere. Today's 3 o'clock show is just getting started.
Welcome to Crosstalk. Crosstalk is hosted by two pastors, Mike Flynn and Luke Richardson. They'll discuss faith-based conversations concerning our city, lives, culture, news, politics. You know, everything you're not supposed to talk about at Thanksgiving. All that, and most importantly, the truth. Their aim is to connect with people in our community through real discussions, real laughs, and the truth. And now, here's Crosstalk.
It's Crosstalk time. Welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm Pastor Mike. We're here with Pastor Luke. How you doing today, sir?
Doing well.
Things good? Everything good in your life?
Well,
Everything squared away?
There's some things
Don't
going
complain.
on, but
Don't complain. Oh, man, I love when people ask you that. It's like, do you want to know the truth?
do you want to know, or are you just asking?
I'm
me?
just asking.
Fine.
Like someone says, hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right, bye. Anyway, how are you doing, everybody out there listening? Listen, I got to talk about something. Something about our community, Knox County. We love a good fish fry, don't we?
There are lots of
I
them.
can say every place I've grown up, I lived in Massachusetts, and then I lived in Missouri, and then I lived in Florida.
Misery.
Yeah. You know, the first time I had biscuits and gravy was when I moved to the Midwest.
Sweet tea. Did you have sweet tea
no.
before that?
No, iced tea. But
Yeah.
things that didn't exist in New England was biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had that before. And then I remember they're like, talking about gravy and biscuits. I'm like, for breakfast? Like turkey? Like gravy? What? Mashed potatoes?
Yeah.
And then they poured the slop out, and I'm like, I can't do that in the morning.
I have to have this every morning.
That'll
now.
slow me down. Like
Feels
it's
like a brick in your
It's
stomach.
like concrete. Yeah. So, and then Mexican restaurants.
Oh man.
No
Midwest staple.
No Mexican restaurants where I grew up. Maybe
There's at
one
least
like
two in every small
Chi-Chi's.
town.
Yeah, Chinese for sure, but no Mexican restaurants. But anyway, fish fries. We got a bunch happening, and I guess the YMCA just did their fish fry.
Yeah.
And they're drive-through only.
That's what I
You
heard.
just drive.
Yeah.
I mean, COVID changed them.
Yeah.
Used to be sit down. Now they're like, get out of here. But people love it. People love it. We're doing one October, this Saturday, October 11th from 5 to 7. And we do have the drive-through option available. So if you want to just get it and go, you can. But we also have seating. So you can sit down, hang out, eat some fish fry. It's going for an awesome cause. So basically, our church, we love Honduras, and we did a medical mission trip this summer where, Luke, you were on that trip.
I was.
We went over there with a bunch of doctors, optometrists.
We had one. I
We had one,
think.
yep. But then we had a bunch of people trained on
Yeah.
on getting people
Yeah.
glasses, and
Yeah.
man, it was
And we
amazing.
hired some Honduran doctors too to help supplement
that, and you're helping them get money,
Yeah.
and then they can
Yeah.
speak the language and they know the region, so that's good. But it's a big deal, and the cool thing is it's not everyone from our church,
Right.
First Baptist. Like, there are people all over our city who give, who came, and and the best part, we share the gospel with everyone. We pray over everybody. That's man.
Yeah,
that's
we had
paramount.
like 35 people and like 9 churches represented when we went.
Super cool. We're doing it
last
again.
summer. Yeah.
We're doing it again this summer, and all the proceeds from this fish fry are going to go towards that trip. So we don't use the fundraising money for people to buy tickets.
Right.
I think we use it all on supplies.
Right.
All of it. So and when you have to buy your ticket, you don't have to buy supplies either.
Right.
So, and I've been on some mission trips where it's been like, what are we doing here? Like a vacation almost, like a little trip. Take some pictures with some poor kids and put it on Facebook. Look at me. And but then I've been on some.
This is not one of those trips.
No, this is really effective, and you don't have to be medically minded at all to help with a medical mission trip.
Yeah, these are some pretty long days. We were up at like 5:30, I think it was, and getting breakfast, and then like 30 minutes later we're on the road, and we're gone for 8 hours, and then and then back late.
And there were like teenagers there too, so
yeah.
it wasn't just a bunch of adults.
Yeah.
But yeah, show up to our fish fry. First Baptist Church, October 11th. There is another fish fry going on. I don't want to mention it.
Really?
Yeah, the Wheatland Lions Club.
Oh.
They're doing a fish fry too, but
Same day or?
same day.
Wow.
Same time. Well, 4 to 7. So at Lions Niblack Park.
Okay.
I don't know where that is, but
I don't know.
I believe it's in Wheatland.
Must be.
Yeah. So you can get double the fish fry if you want. But I don't know how long these fish fries will last with the government shutdown, you know? It affects everything.
It does.
We have government fish fryers who come in and imagine that.
Government fish fry.
Oh, I hate watching the government shutdown.
Yeah.
It is so stupid.
They're just a bunch of children
They are.
that argue with each other,
Yep.
and it's sad to watch some of those meetings
I know.
that take place.
I know. And Republicans did it too.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
So
it's both sides.
It's just really funny, like when Biden was in office and we were about to shut the government down because of the budget and everything.
Yeah.
All these people, Schumer, Pelosi, they all got up and there's recordings of them going, "How selfish can you be? Americans just want to work. You're so selfish for doing this, blah 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 blah." And now it's like Schumer's the exact one who's keeping
How the tables have turned.
the turntables turned you on your turns. Yeah,
You have a cricket button.
it's stupid. But listen, I hate watching it. And I love that we have all the receipts, like all the videos of you doing this. But
Yeah.
right, and literally, I think people think Americans are dumb. Like it's literally about the main thing is paying for health care for undocumented immigrants.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. They just put that in there. And they're like, no, it's not about that. We don't want that. And there's some governors going, no, that's never our priority. That's not the Democratic priority. So then they play a video clip of the debates, the Democratic Party debates, when there was like 10 of them on stage, Biden included. I don't know if he knew he was on stage at that point, but they're like, how many of you
50-50
in your
shot.
yeah, no, not 50-50. That's being generous. They're like, how many of you believe in paying for health care for undocumented immigrants? And everyone's hand went up. And Biden slowly lifted his hand because he's like, I got to raise my hand. Is this about Jell-O? Are they serving Jell-O after this? But all of them raised their hand, and the crowd goes wild. Now they're like, no, that wasn't us. Like, it's just crazy.
Well, Americans do have the memory of a goldfish. We hey, look, a castle.
I don't know.
Hey, look, a castle.
But think about this.
We forget pretty
We
quickly
do, but
about
look at the last election.
what's happened.
Look at the last election.
Yeah.
I don't think Americans are stupid anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, man.
No, the last 5 years a lot's changed.
Yeah, a lot has changed. Nobody believes
But-
the media. You
Yeah.
see something on CNN and you're like, nope, don't believe
Yeah.
it. Even Fox News, you're like, nope, not going to believe it.
Yeah.
But then Candace Owens says something, and you're like,
Yeah.
wait a sec. She's gone off her rocker.
She brings receipts there.
All right, so for the past week,
I've been watching them.
I've been like, you're getting too crazy over this.
Yeah, I
Because
don't know.
she did one thing where she made this crazy claim about Charlie Kirk, and I know she was close to him and everything, but she made this one claim, and I'm like, you're a little over the deep end, right?
She streamed last night,
She did.
and it had 1 million viewers, I think, something like that.
The group chat.
Yeah.
So she finally released a group chat.
I saw that.
With Charlie Kirk and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it did back up what she was saying.
Yep.
So I was
It
like,
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not.
I haven't
maybe not.
watched any of them live, but I've watched I think I've watched 3 of them later on.
Yeah,
But-
but even people like that, even the independent podcasters, now people are still like, let me look into this.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, we
I
should
mean-
be. There's no more investigative journalism anymore. It's just, I'm on this side, so I'm going to broadcast this, and I'm on this side, I'm going to do
Yes, but I think people are waking up.
Yeah.
And they want to see the receipts. They want to see facts.
Right.
And I think COVID did that to us. Mm-hmm. And I think now you can really check facts and really, so think about it though. We grew up in a world where like information was trusted, and then we got like we got access to all information all at once. And you're still trusting these sources, but then you're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
So I think it took a little
That
bit.
math ain't mathin'.
Yeah. I was at a program where it was kind of like a cult, kind of maybe like 8 out of the 12, you're in a cult signs. And I didn't have access to a phone, to a TV, or to internet. So the only news I heard or I got was from the pastor from the pulpit. So imagine that. Imagine that. And then you start asking questions, and you're like, there were a couple big things that kind of were red flags to me when it came to the Bible, where I'm like, but I'm reading something different.
Yeah.
But I'll trust that God put you in my life and to lead, but I just think people look. One more thing, First City Harvest Market is coming up. You know what that is?
I don't.
It's really cool. It's on Old Wheatland Road. You can find it on Facebook or anything, but I think it's going to be the KC Community Center, and they're welcoming like handcrafted items, fine goods, food, like small business owners, and they're going to have it on the 3rd of October, the 8th, and 29th of November, and then the 20th of December. It's from about 10 to 1, except October 3rd is 4 to 7. That's at night. But it's really cool. I'm going to go check it out and see, local small businesses starting up, people making crafts, things like that. I think that's perfect. Go check it out. We'll be right back. I had a funny news story. I don't have time for it right now, but I'll bring it up next segment.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Crosstalk. Stay with us. 97.3, 97.7, 1450 AM.
Helping kids avoid underage drinking. Here's another community announcement from WAOB. Nearly a quarter of people aged 12 to 20 reported drinking alcohol. The consequences can be calamitous. The words and actions of one person can make a positive difference in the lives of others. Help prevent underage drinking by being involved in young people's lives. Talk, they listen. A word to help prevent underage drinking throughout the area. The WAOV forecast now from the Brian Stevens Erie Insurance Weather Center. Cloudy with a 70% chance of rain throughout today, a high near 74. Tonight, 20% chance of rain and then clearing somewhat, a low near 51. Sunny at 72 on Wednesday, 68 on Thursday, and back to 72 Friday. It's the Morning Chat with your friends and neighbors each weekday at 10 on WAOV.
Back to Crosstalk. All right, we've been doing some leadership stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't that a really good name? Leadership stuff.
Leadership stuff.
If you don't know, my graduate degree is in organizational leadership and Christian leadership, and man, I just dove right into that. I went to one conference, and I was like, that's everything. And I think leadership is discipleship.
Yeah.
Like they're interchangeable, especially within the church. But Luke's been reading one book.
Should be. Yeah.
One book.
I'm actually deviating from the book today.
Oh,
this
snap.
week. I'm just going to go straight to the Bible.
All right. Okay.
All right? So I wanted to go through one of the best leadership stories.
Uh-oh.
And I love going to the kings of Israel and Judah. Well, not Israel, because they were all bad kings, but don't take the advice.
Don't be anti-Semitic right now,
No,
Candace.
when they split into two nations, two
that was
kingdoms,
bad.
Israel was bad.
Yeah.
And they all I think, was it 19 kings they had? They were all bad.
The funny part is Israel was like, we want a king. And God's like,
Don't do
kings
it.
are bad. And they're like, give us a king. And then God's like, all right. And then they're like, save us from our king.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
stupid. But
So-
it's us. It's literally who we are.
Yeah,
These people.
so little history. You had King Saul, the first king, and then you had David and then Solomon. And then after Solomon, because his heart turned from God and, he had all those wives and concubines, the nation
idea.
split. Yeah, the nation split, or the people. So 10 of the tribes became northern Israel, and the other 2, plus the priests and the Levites, became the southern
Was
tribe
that
of
Judah?
Yeah.
Judah, yeah.
And so I want to look at King Asa.
Asa.
He was a great king. He was king
My
for
man,
41 years, I think.
That's pretty long.
Over Judah, yeah. And so Asa is the great-great-grandson of David.
Okay.
Great-great-grandson. And after Solomon, after the split, Judah had 20 years of 2 bad kings. The first 2 kings were bad, 17 years and 3 years. And Asa took over, and he had to do a lot of reformation. He had to do a lot of reforming.
Tearing down
right?
idols.
Yeah, and so Asa comes onto the scene after 20. I mean, I think about in our time frame what you can do in 4 years as a president.
Jeez. Yeah.
I mean, really though,
Can really mess stuff up.
like think about 20 years of bad leadership,
Yeah.
and just the place that a country could be in after 20 years of bad leadership. And so Asa comes onto the scene, and he takes over, and he becomes king. And so he does there's a theme in 1st and 2nd Kings and 1st, 2nd Chronicles of what the kings did. It was either they did what was right in the eyes of God, or they did what was right in their own eyes. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the 2 themes throughout those 2 books of the kings.
That's the theme throughout my life.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And so I think Asa is a really good example of wanting to do the right thing and then fully going all in to commit to doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where a lot of Christians are at. They want to do the right thing, but they have trouble fully surrendering.
Letting go of some
Exactly.
areas, and if you hold on
Exactly.
to some areas, you're not all in.
And so I think that's the big focus of King Asa, his reign, and what I think we can learn from it is really just getting rid of all of our past.
Yeah.
Getting rid of all the dark areas.
Yep.
Is fully surrendering everything and not holding anything back for God. So Asa comes onto the scene, and it says that he removed the foreign. This is 2nd Chronicles, starting with chapter 14, and he's mainly chapter 14 and 15. But we see that he comes in and he removes the idols, he removes the high places. In Israel, they would sometimes build these altars up on the mountain, and so that was kind of like a thing that they were not supposed to do, obviously, not to build other altars to other gods. And so that's kind of what
Pretty obvious.
Yeah, the high places were. So he would take the high places and remove them and stuff like that. And so in 2nd Chronicles 14, verse 5, it says that he also removed the high places and the incense altars from all the cities of Judah, and the kingdom was quiet before him.
Oh.
Now, the little hidden thing that 99% of people miss, because if you don't know the context of the story, is that Benjamin was also part of Judah. And so he removes the idols and the high places from Judah, but not from Benjamin.
Oh.
So there's another portion of the land that he doesn't touch. And so it's kind of like a lot of Christians' lives.
Yeah.
You may get rid of some of the bigger stuff. It was the bigger land territory, but there were some smaller places that he left.
Why did he leave Benjamin?
Exactly, left untouched.
Wow.
So we don't know exactly why, but there's just it's so relatable to our lives how we can get rid of some of the bigger things, but like as you grow with Christ, the closer you get to him, the farther you see of the gap between you and him.
Mm-hmm.
You and Christ, and it's easy to get rid of some of the bigger stuff maybe when you first get saved, but then like really purifying and refining your life and the small things, the thought patterns and that kind of stuff can be difficult, and not everybody does that well or even tries to. And so that's kind of how I think about.
You should be trying. Like I'm not perfect, and I have battles in my life, but they're battles for a reason.
Right.
I'm not giving up. I'm not accepting. And there should be a fight, and you shouldn't fight it alone.
Right. So he does this. He removes a bunch of the stuff from Judah, and they had quiet. It was quiet during those years, and no one was at war. And then they had a military of about 500,000 people. If you do the math, there's
Not bad.
300,000, 280,000, so a little over 500,000. And then all of a sudden, an Ethiopian army of over 1 million, or about 1 million, comes to attack.
Oh, snap.
So it's like, okay, this army is twice the size of us.
Yeah.
Are we going to hold strong and trust God or not? And so in verse 11, we see that Asa calls out to God, and he says, "There is no one besides you to help in the battle between those of abundant power and those who have no power. So help
What
us."
a great prayer.
I know.
What a great prayer. Hey, no one can help but you.
Yeah. She
Man.
says, "So help us, O Yahweh our God, for we lean on you, and in your name have come against this multitude. O Yahweh, you are our God. Let no mortal man prevail against you.
Wow.
Great prayer.
Yeah.
And so we see Asa really does get off on the right foot, I think,
Yep.
trying to do the right thing, trying to remove
Tear
those
down
idols.
the idols.
Yeah, trying to follow God, but he doesn't quite finish the job. And so God actually sends the enemy army to flee, confuses them, sends them back and they're able to go plunder all the stuff at the end. And battles are really a test for us, and
Yeah.
we experience battles all the time, and I think this is really applicable to leadership, is what do you do in the face of a battle? What do you do as a Christian in general? Because I say this all the time, the world is watching us.
Yeah.
What we do in the face of a battle is so important as a Christian and as a leader.
Yep.
Super important.
Yeah.
And so something happens here in the story where Asa takes his eyes off of God. We don't really know. It doesn't go into detail, but something happens, and then prophet Azariah comes to give him a word. And so there's going to be times in your life, and there's been times in my life where I take my eyes off of God for a moment, and because sometimes the battle will do that.
Oh, yeah.
A battle can hit you hard.
And you're so focused on that.
Yes.
Yep.
And you just don't know what to do, and your eyes get off of God because you're
Yeah.
trying to make sense of what's going on.
That happened to me, and then I'll sit at a conference or listen to a sermon, and that's like the word of God speaks
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Like, wow. No prophet ever came up to me. Although I
So-
don't believe prophets exist anymore. But, the word of God does.
Right.
Through people.
So it says, now the Spirit of, this is starting chapter 15. Now the Spirit of God came on Azariah, the son of Oded, and he went out to meet Asa and said to him, listen to me, Asa, and all Judah and Benjamin. Yahweh is with you when you are with him. And if you seek him, he will be found. But if you forsake him, he will forsake you.
Wow.
That's scary.
Yeah.
For a word like that to come to you. And, it's true. God doesn't forsake us, obviously, in the same sense.
Not in that sense.
But he removes his peace from us.
Yeah.
And we need favor with God and with people, and he can remove that covering if we're chasing after our own stuff.
Of course.
But he does that so that we'll come back, I think.
Yeah.
I think God removes that peace from us so that we know when we're not in the right place.
Yep.
And we feel that unrest.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's a warning sign. I need to get back to where I should be. I need to get my eyes back onto God. So it's a great leadership principle to keep your eyes focused on God. And then if you ever feel that lack of peace, something's going on. It's a warning, a check engine light that something's not right in your life. So he, and just like us, we're faced all the time with our eyes getting off of God and then losing our peace. And then what do we do about it?
Yeah.
Do we continue to just
Struggle.
stay for 40 years in the wilderness?
Yeah, or you're fighting a battle on your own.
Yeah,
And you're like, hold on,
exactly.
God, let me take care of this first.
Exactly.
Oh, hold on, let me get this. I'm a leader. I need to do this. When the prayer in the beginning is like, you could only do this.
Yeah, we got to lean on God.
Yeah.
So he's faced with this moment to like, am I going to continue this path or am I going to put my eyes back onto God? And thankfully, Asa is a good representation of getting our eyes back onto God. So then it says that, now when Asa heard these words and the prophecy of Azariah, the son of Oded, the prophet, spoke, he strengthened himself and took away the detestable idols from the land of Judah and Benjamin.
Oh, there you go.
And from the cities which he had captured in the hill country of Ephraim. He then renewed the altar of Yahweh, which was in front of the porch of Yahweh. And he gathered all Judah and Benjamin, and those from Ephraim and Manasseh and Simeon, who sojourned with him. For many defected to him from Israel when they saw that Yahweh was with him. And this is crazy. That part we miss a lot, but the 10 tribes that were in the northern kingdom, they actually, some of them saw that Asa was doing the right thing, and it attracted them to come with them so that they could follow God too.
They defected.
Yes. And so our life is going to draw people to Christ if we do the right things.
People who aren't even in your circle. too.
Exactly.
People who are.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell the youth kids all the time, what you're gonna draw people in, because Paul says that we're like an aroma of life to those who are being saved, and an aroma of death to those who are
perishing. And that's what Israel was back then. They didn't go out and evangelize, but they drew people into God. They were God's representative. And it's the same thing for us as Christians, except we also have the mandate to go out and preach. But we have to be right with God.
Yeah. So then after that, Asa sacrifices 700 oxen, 7,000 sheep from the spoil, and they entered into a covenant with God to seek him, the God of their fathers, with all their heart and their soul. And it says, all Judah was glad concerning the oath, for they had sworn with their whole heart and searched for him with all their desire. And he was found by them. So Yahweh gave them rest on every side. He even removes his own mother.
Wow.
Because she was an idol worshiper.
Yeah.
He removed his own mother from being. It's
that
crazy.
Must have been tough.
And then I'll finish it here with this verse 19, the last verse of chapter 15. And there was no more war until the 35th year of Asa's reign. So they had tons of peace in that time because they did what was right.
And think about this. I bet when he removed some of those idols, I bet there was a lot of like pain and trouble. Hey, what are you doing?
Yep.
Like, you know.
Yep.
And then finally he's like, I don't care. Go get them all. Mom, you're out.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, and we can feel that with our friends and our people that are in our circles when we try to do the right thing. People pushing back like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that for?
Yep.
So
That's
I think
crazy.
pretty good leadership principles from Asa that we should follow.
Yeah,
So,
do what's right and clear it all out. I always tell people when it comes to Christianity, I always use the poker thing. Like when you're playing poker and you go all in, like once you say those words, you can't hold any chip. You like they're binding.
Yep.
So and that's like Christianity. Like you can't just put half your chips in and go, all right, let's see what God's gonna do.
Yeah.
It's wow, Jesus went all in for me. I'm going all in for him.
Yeah.
And then it's a continual emptiness or emptying out yourself and all in every day.
Yeah.
So
That's what we should do as Christians and as leaders.
man, that's great. That's great. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. The guy who flew across the country to kill Justice Kavanaugh was just sentenced today.
Oh, wow.
And it is insane what happened. Insane. We'll talk about that when we get back. 97.3, 97.7, 1450 AM.
From the WAOV News Center, I'm Tom Lee reporting. Vincennes Mayor Joe Yoakum is still seeking ways to make up for a $1.3 million shortfall the city will face in 2027 due to property tax cuts. Both the mayor and Vincennes City Council are working toward that remedy in the next year. Plus, to come, one idea to consider, a long-debated raise on trash fees. The other option, other than raising sticker fees, would be a monthly flat fee for trash collection. Also, Vincennes Mayor Joe Yoakum believes that water and sewer rate increases are also possible. Milestone Paving will begin milling in Washington today. That paving will be at a later date. The city will is asking the public to avoid the following areas today: Morton Street from Northwest 6th, also St. Augustine Street from Walnut to Lincoln, and Harnett Avenue from Meridian to State Road 57. And Knox County Sheriff's deputies arrested 20-year-old Angela Hernandez of Wheatland following a pursuit in Knox County. Hernandez also faces a July 2024 robbery charge. More at WAOVAM.com. I'm Tom Lee, WAOV News.
What is the Dairyland seed difference? The answer is found in our difference makers. Our seeds are developed and delivered for unrivaled performance in and only in the upper Midwest. Our local dealers, expert agronomists, and everyone throughout our organization who live to make life better on farms and in the community. It's our people, products, and pedigree that combine to make a true difference that you can see on the bottom line and feel in your heart. Learn more about our difference makers at dairylandseeddifference.com.
South Knox advances, Bar Reeve takes out Reveille. I'm Tom Lee with the WAOV Radio Sports Beat. Boys soccer sectionals got underway yesterday again at Northeast Dubois. Vincennes Reveille loses 6-0 to Bar Reeve. The Vikings will play South Knox in the semifinals. Spartans win 5-0 over Washington Catholic. At the 2A sectional at Washington, Gibson Southern wins 4-3 over Southridge. The host Hatchets defeat Princeton 2-1. Girls soccer sectionals tonight. One match at Gibson Southern. It'll be Southridge versus the host Titans. Winner will play Vincennes Lincoln on Thursday. The other semifinal, Washington will play against Princeton. In the Class A sectional at Sullivan, it'll be Bar Reeve versus Bloomfield at 5. North Knox will take on WRV at 7. Reveille and Sullivan will be the other semifinal. Those two drew the bye. I'm Tom Lee.
News happens all the time during the day, at night, and through the overnight. So for the latest in local news, weather and sports, as well as obituary information, listen to 97.3, 97.7, and AM 1450 WAOV, and always at WAOVAM.com.
Wiggle and giggle at the Knox County Public Library, a sensory story time for babies birth through 18 months. Each Monday at 10:30 a.m. at the Knox County Public Library.
The WAOV forecast now from the Brian Stevens Erie Insurance Weather Center. Cloudy with a 70% chance of rain throughout today, a high near 74. Tonight, 20% chance of rain and then clearing somewhat, a low near 51. Sunny at 72 on Wednesday, 68 on Thursday, then back to 72 Friday. It's the Morning Chat with your friends and neighbors each weekday at 10 on WAOV.
We're back with Crosstalk. All right, Nicholas John Rosk, 29 years old. This happened a while back. He flew across the country from L.A. with a gun, zip ties, and was prepared to kill Justice Kavanaugh.
He flew in an airplane?
Yep.
He got a gun on an airplane?
He flew across, he flew across the country, then he got all this stuff.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and he got caught. I think he might have called 911 on himself, right?
Huh?
Yeah, this was in June 2022, which is
make
like
much sense.
crazy because you remember the Kavanaugh hearings, all the lies
Right,
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Like he's gonna do this, so
Yeah.
it's like acceptable violence. Some things it's like practiced violence. I can't. Just there's so many things now that people are saying it's acceptable.
It's
to do
justified.
that. Yeah,
At least
yeah.
some sort of violence is
And people
is
are
justified.
talking.
Yeah.
They're not saying go out and kill people, but they're saying, well, what do you
Right.
expect? Like
We gotta
all
stop
the
the
ice
evil.
rage. Anyway, so he does this, and the sentence should be the maximum is like 30 years. 30 years to life.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the minimum is 30 years to life.
Okay.
For attempting to murder a Supreme Court justice,
Yeah.
plotting to kill a Supreme Court justice, being on his street with guns and zip ties, okay? So he got sentenced today. He had a knife, a tactical knife, a pistol, ammunition, pepper spray, zip ties, all that, right? Mm-hmm. So where's the controversy? He got 8 years in prison. 8
Wow.
years. It's not about the sentence, it's about why he got that sentence.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
No, I don't.
No clue? Well, apparently, Nicholas is no longer a male. Nicholas now identifies as a female, right? How crazy is that? How crazy is that? Now,
I mean, not very crazy.
not crazy at all, right? but you're thinking, well,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean he got a lighter sentence because of that,
Because
unless
he's now a woman.
unless literally the judge says that's why he's getting a lighter
Did the judge
sentence.
say that?
The judge literally said that. And here's the reason why. All right? And all the news stories that are covering her are saying her and she.
Wow.
Yep. After noticing U.S. Marshals outside, and even ChatGPT is saying she confessed on herself, and she, all this stuff. All right? And this is from the Department of Justice website. The sentence was significantly shorter than the minimum of 30 years recommended by the Department of Justice. In response, Pam Bondi stated that the Justice Department will appeal the sentence, calling it woefully insufficient.
Wow.
So, here's what the judge said. The judge admitted for one of the reasons for the lenient sentence was because of her trans status. Here's the reason why. Because he will be in a male-only prison, and for someone who is identifying as a woman to be stuck in a male-only prison for 8 years is going to be very severe. So here's the lesson. Here's the lesson in that. You want a lower sentence
Don't
for a
try to
heinous
kill
crime?
someone.
No. You want a lower sentence for a heinous crime? Switch genders.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
That's wild.
For the judge to actually state that.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. I thought I was gonna read these. They're gonna go to a women's prison, but it wasn't in California.
I was gonna say, that's actually surprising that he's not gonna go to a women's prison.
No, it was in California. If it was in California, yeah, that would happen. But my goodness, what does that say to everyone else? It says switch your gender, get a lighter sentence, okay, because you'll struggle in jail, but also you're going to plot to kill a Supreme Court justice. That's big. That's a big deal. So anyway, with everything going on, I saw that and I'm like, that is insane. You know what else is insane? This is kind of funny, but I wanted to talk about this. So Alvord High School in Alvord. I didn't know which Alvord it was. So I Googled, and there was one in Texas and one in California, and you tell me which one this happens. So it's really funny.
Those are polar opposites.
I know.
I'm assuming I'm going to be able to
You
tell.
might think it's just listen. So an advanced animal science teacher at Albert High School, you had all these kittens, and they were all dying. They were all sick. He actually gave one away, and the kitten died with that family he gave it to. But also had a snake, and before the start of school, he fed the kitten to the snake.
In front of the students, or?
Yeah, she did, the teacher. And she later acknowledged, she said, this decision...
does not reflect the school.
No. She later acknowledged this decision to her class and permitted a student with parental consent to take the remaining kittens home. The teacher is an experienced educator and animal lover, has apologized to the students for her action and voluntarily removed all the snakes from her classroom. But
wow.
This makes national headlines. What do you think about that? You think it's bad or good? Dude, it's the circle of life.
I mean, yeah, but also it's a kitten. So
Yeah,
it's like if it was a mouse, you wouldn't think anything of it, but it's a kitten.
The kitten was dying anyway.
Right. I mean,
he crossed the line.
I mean, I understand.
Where
Just
was
not in
this?
front of the students.
Oh, wow. Where was
It
this?
had to have been Texas.
Yeah, it had to be Texas. Absolutely, but I'm just sitting there laughing at that. Like, I don't know. Should she be fired? Nah, I don't think she should be fired. I don't.
I remember this is Missouri, but I feel like Missouri is not too much different than Texas.
Imagine these kids like holding this kitten.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's sick and dying, and she's like, well, we got a snake over there. Let's drop a pin.
It was a couple of years ago. We were driving. Jenna, my wife's family's from Missouri, and we're driving out to her uncle's farm, and we go by this little like gas station looking thing, and she's like, "That's where they used to have the alligator that you could pet." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What is Missouri?"
Yeah,
That's how
I don't
feel
even
about
know.
Texas and Missouri.
Dude, I was in Massachusetts. I got recruited to go to this college in Missouri. I didn't even know where it was on the map.
Yeah.
I filled my car up. Filled my gas tank. 24 hours later, I'm in Missouri. Like, what? Where?
Missouri's
where
a
am
wild
I?
place.
Where am I? No, it was good. No. You know, the other thing I was talking about with, obviously the government shutdown, but with all the ICE, people attacking ICE, and, you know, Trump's going to threaten to bring in the National Guard.
Yeah, he has in some places.
Yes. What do you think about that in Portland's just a dumpster fire?
They rejected it in Portland, right? Or they
can't.
Well, they tried to.
They tried to
prevent
say
him.
no. Yeah. Same with Chicago.
But they're going anyways.
Yeah, I think, man, it's so tough. I don't want the president, because then it looks like, oh, he is a dictator.
Right. And that's all that people see.
But all these federal agents are being doxxed, they're being shot at, like literally shot at. And so when you're interfering with the government like that, I mean, that's not good.
Yeah.
Trump and the government is not outside their bounds by taking people who are illegal, especially the worst, the criminals. But even in Chicago, like, they're freaking out about it. But nobody says, oh, you got this person who committed horrible crimes to a child, you got them off the street now. Nobody ever says that. It's always like,
I just see people posting Anne Frank quotes.
Yeah, like,
about people being ripped away from their homes. That's all I ever see.
Yeah. And I get it. Like, why are we in this mess to begin with?
Yeah.
Because of the Biden administration.
Right. Because we have as many illegal immigrants that there would be the 10th most populated state if they were all in one state.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep. And there's some who worked hard and so,
Right.
I mean, I'm all for immigration and,
Just done the right way.
yeah. And that's
is only talking about illegal immigration.
yes. And the criminals first.
Right.
But if there's any like if someone does, I mean, look what they did to the Maryland man, right? They made him out to be this poster guy. Well, he was actually a human trafficker. But it's like any little thing gets blown up, and then I can't believe the real things that you say. If there's a real mistake that happens, I can't believe it from you because all you do is cry wolf and cry racism and all that. So, but I don't know. I think he should. Portland is a dumpster fire, dude.
Yeah.
Who would ever want to live there? Who would ever want to have a business there?
Yeah. Did you hear Cuomo go on The View?
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh.
He, he's running for mayor.
Yeah,
and,
against Mondami, the communist.
And so I haven't actually heard any Democratic leaders say this, but he's trying to separate the Democrats from what he calls Democrat socialists.
Yeah.
And he says they're not communists, but they basically are.
Well, and it's only a small percentage.
Right.
They're just loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to separate himself from that and separate the Democrats.
Like there are fringe groups of conservatives who are like, crazy. Like I don't associate with them, but they're not loud and they don't have, they don't have the pull they have in the media.
Yeah.
But I look at Democrats, like I'll say someone's, a Democrat or they're a leftist. When I think of a leftist, I think of like crazy ideology, like intolerant to anything that, unless you believe it, but I know a lot of good Democrats. In fact, if there's one listening, I'd love to sit down and talk. And I have some family members. We have great conversations. I remember the first time that I really talked to someone, they were like, Mike, you're a Christian, right? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, well, wouldn't you want everyone in our country to have health care? And just to be intellectually honest, I'm like, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
They're like, well, that's all we're trying to do. And I remember asking, well, how can we do that? And that person was intellectually honest, and he's like, well, we don't have a plan right now that could work because if we couldn't cover it, healthcare for everyone.
And then it's what is considered healthcare.
Yeah.
Because they want abortions to be that, they want all these procedures to be that it's just a lifestyle rather than a necessity.
But we came to the agreement that I would like healthcare for everyone, but it's a service, so it has to be paid for.
Right.
And that person I was speaking to was like, yeah, we don't have a good plan yet. And I'm like, when you get one, tell me. I'll be on board with it.
Yeah.
One that actually can cover the cost, not strain our. I already know the way to fix the healthcare. Just make it an open market. Have menus. Have hospitals have the prices. Let's do reviews.
Yeah.
Like I'll get a top tier surgeon if I can afford it. If not, I'll go with the B one. But man, let me know how much I'm going to spend on an X-ray, and I'll shop around.
Yeah.
We already do that for LASIK and for dental.
Everything else that happens.
Do it. Make it a free market.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be back. We're coming back with the truth next. Stay with us. This is Crosstalk 97.3, 97.7, 1450 AM.
Indiana.
Chris is my baby. Out of 3 children, he was my youngest. When Chris died, it was devastating and it was very sudden. There was a staff member from the Indiana Donor Network who talked to us about organ donation.
Cheryl and her family learned that her son Chris had already said yes to being an organ donor before he died.
I was so proud of him. Chris was able to save a life. Knowing that there is a lady that is alive with Chris's liver, that is just totally amazing to me.
Be a hero. Save a life. Say yes to organ donation. Learn more at donatelifeindiana.org.
I miss him a lot, but I know he's in heaven and I know he's making an impact there as well.
All right, we're back, Crosstalk, with some truth. We're in John chapter 7. We're going through the book of John at our church, so I like to just give some tidbits of the sermon that we had on Sunday. And one part of this, the disciples are trying to persuade Jesus to do something. And as I was studying this and reading this, I'm like, man, this is what I do. Like, I try to persuade God to follow my plan. But right about now, Jesus is like super popular. He's doing miracles. Everyone's looking for him. Everyone's trying to follow him. And the religious leaders, the Jews, and the Sadducees and Pharisees, they want him dead. And mainly, they all started to want to kill him because he healed someone on the Sabbath. That's how serious they took the Sabbath, and that's how much they hated Jesus, because he healed someone on the Sabbath, and they didn't care that this person was in misery for 30-something years. They like couldn't walk, and then all of a sudden he can walk, and he like runs to the temple. They're just like, who told you to break the rules? And that made them want to kill him. And obviously, we know they wanted to kill Jesus because they were jealous. People were following him. You know, it's like a pastor who gets jealous if there's another preacher in town.
They couldn't control him either.
Yeah, they couldn't control Jesus at all. So, and he had these gifts. He had, his teaching was, no one could understand why he was so wise and so smart. He didn't go through the traditional rabbi route where you learn everything. He just had it, and he was a carpenter. Anyway, so chapter 1 or verse 1 in chapter 7, it says, after Jesus went in Galilee, he could not go to Judea because the Jews were seeking to kill him. So Jesus would purposely go into areas where he would purposely go into areas where he would avoid certain areas for certain reasons.
His time wasn't there yet.
Yeah, it wasn't time for him to be arrested. Now, if he went into an area and there were a bunch of people who wanted to kill him, they couldn't have caught him anyway. Like, he could vanish.
He slips through the crowd.
Yeah, there's so many times. And he does it coming up here. But there's this huge festival. It's called the Feast of the Booth. And it was a big, important festival. Josephus said it was one of the most significant festivals. So that's happening. And verse 3, his brothers said to him, leave here and go to Judea, that your disciples also may see the works you are doing. So they're like pressuring him, like, go there, you know, because what they wanted for Jesus was for him to finally expose himself and be like, I am king. Because the whole time Jesus is doing ministry, even the disciples were like, we're going to be rich or we're going to be powerful. Like, they think Jesus's plan was because Rome was in charge of the Jews. So they're thinking Jesus is going to set the Jews free from the Roman Empire. And he's going to be king. He's going to rule everything. So obviously his 12 disciples are going to be his right hand, his left hand. They're going to have positions of power. So they're like, Jesus, we know what you can do. You've walked on water. You've calmed the storm. You can heal people. Like, go be king. Go destroy everything. So his brothers said, leave here, go to Judea, because there's such a big festival going on. You want people to see your incredible works. And this is what they said to him. For no one works in secret if he seeks to be known openly. And if you do these things, show yourself to the world. So it's almost like they're kind of
like Yoda.
They're like kind of, you know, saying a parable to Jesus to get him to share his gifts with the world, right? And here's the thing. Sometimes we do that, right? Where we give Jesus some advice. Like, hey, God, you should do this because this will be better.
And everybody's Jesse Duplantis and God advice.
Exactly. But and it's like we're sitting here laughing like, okay, you're going to tell Jesus what to do. Like, that's stupid. Obviously, his plan is better.
Right.
They had no idea of the plan.
Yeah.
And I feel like in our lives, we have no clue what God's doing. We have our plans that are going to work out well, and God should just kind of allow all this to happen. But sometimes prayers are answered no. Sometimes the plan does not work out. You're praying for this job, and you're like putting all your hope in this job. You're asking other people to pray for you, and then you don't get the job, and you're like mad. I've been there. Like, God, why aren't you doing this? This would have been perfect.
Yeah.
But it's all about his work, not ours.
I think Josephat's prayer is the best. We don't know what to do, but our eyes are on you.
Yeah.
Such a good prayer.
Who?
Josephat.
Jehoshaphat.
King Josephat.
Yeah. Jumping Jehoshaphat.
We
So
can do
verse
that one
5,
next week.
verse 5, it says, and you can miss this, it says, for not even his brothers believed in him. So they weren't fully in, so they wanted Jesus to go to a place with a lot of people and do more work, so then their faith could be like even better. If they were fully in, man, they would have been like, hey, we trust you wherever you're going, whatever you're doing.
Right.
Like, I don't care. Hey, don't go there. But they just really wanted to see him display his works in front of the world so he could be king. And that's why, and Jesus told them, my time has not come yet. Your time's always here. Like, hey, you're here on earth, but there's going to be a time where, and anytime Jesus talks about his time has not yet come, he's talking about being arrested and being killed. The whole time he knew that was happening, right? The whole entire time he knew he was going to the cross. And when he died, when he finally died on the cross, the disciples were done. They didn't have hope anymore. A lot of them went back to fishing. They were like, well, I guess that wasn't true. So obviously that phrase, they didn't believe in him. None of the disciples believed in him.
Yeah, they all ended up believing him.
Nobody was camped out in front of the tomb like, hey, 3 days later, he said it. Day 3, let's go, right?
Yeah.
They were all done. It was over.
Locked in a room, scared.
That's why Peter was denying Jesus. That's why they were locked up in the upper room, right? And then finally, Jesus comes back to life, and there's a switch in all of them, except Judas, because he gone.
Yeah.
He gone. There's a switch in all of them there where everything made sense. This was what it was about. And then after that, obviously Pentecost came, and they received the Holy Spirit, and everything changed at that moment. Like, Peter denied Jesus in front of a little girl. He began to curse, and I'm not with him. And then Peter was getting crucified, and he's like, I'm not worthy. Crucify me upside down. What happened? What happened was they really got it.
Yeah, Holy Spirit came.
The Holy Spirit came. They had the power, but the faith, the belief, seeing Jesus resurrected, I mean, they understood everything he had been telling them. And even John writes in some phrases, they did not understand yet.
Right.
So John's writing this after the resurrection, and the way John writes, the way these disciples write, they all look stupid. That's how you know the Bible's true.
Yeah.
Because if you're writing a book about the Savior of the world, if I'm writing a book about the Savior in the world that involves me,
you're going to keep some of these things out.
I'm going to keep some of these things out.
Except for when he was racing to the tomb and won.
Yeah. That's a good, But the disciples look terrible. That's how you know they wrote the truth. They all look terrible. They all look dumb, like cowards, running away, right? And but after that, nope. You can read in Acts. They're preaching the gospel. They're on fire. They're being threatened with jail. Their lives are being threatened, and they're like, I don't care. We're going to preach the gospel no matter what. Unstoppable. And I feel like that's us in our faith. Like, sometimes maybe you could say you're a Christian because you believe in Jesus, like you believe he died, maybe you've said a prayer, but real faith shows itself. Real faith makes you unstoppable. Like, that's your life. That's your purpose in your life. Like, all these things in the world, politics, immigration, wars, that's all peripheral for me. Like, I want America to succeed. I want Ukraine to have peace, but number one is, what does God have for my life, and how is God using people in the world to be saved? Maybe the recessions that we have, the economic recessions, maybe more people come to know Christ because of that.
Right.
So I'm good with it.
Right.
Maybe God has said no to you in different career paths or things like that. You got to be good with it. You got to trust God. And it's easy, even as a pastor, to tell other people to trust God, but not my own self. It's really easy to do that. So Jesus goes on to say, hey, the world hates you because the world's going to hate you because it hated me. And I think about all the hate for Christianity. I know Christians get upset about that, but you kind of got to anticipate it.
Yeah.
The hatred for Christ.
Don't be surprised when the fiery ordeal comes before you.
Yeah. I'm not gonna be surprised that people are intolerant to Christianity, that they hate Christian values, that they hate the Bible, even like a value of traditional marriage. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fight them for that. They hated Christ. They're gonna hate Christianity all over the world. I mean, you look at Nigeria, man. Thousands of Christians are being executed by an Islamic group in Nigeria.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it, though.
Yeah.
What do we say to them? Imagine going up to someone in the country like that and saying, Man, I know what it means to be persecuted. People make fun of me at school. Like, what? That's persecution?
Right. It says in Acts, through many afflictions, we must enter the kingdom of God.
Yep. Don't try to give Jesus advice. All right? It's a bad idea. Bad idea. Jesus doesn't work in the way you want him to work all the time. So, hey, Crosstalk, we'll be back next week. This is Crosstalk 97.3, 97.7, 1450 AM.